I choose you. Season 7's our destiny. Let's eat some Alolan food. I choose you.
Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zelick. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Mr. Know-It-Owl of the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Evan Aubrey.
Happy New Year. I guess we already released an episode this
We already
year.
did that.
Yeah, okay. Well,
No longer a new year.
Well, did we record? We recorded it, I guess, in the new year too. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, well, we already did that bit. It's January. Fuck you. It's January. This is when the shitty movies come out. Did you guys see that movie where the pool eats people?
Oh, yeah. What was that called?
It's called Night Swim. It's about a pool
That's
that eats
what it
people.
Was it good?
So, like, the trailer was like 3 minutes, and they're like playing Marco Polo, and one of them gets eaten, and they're like, haha, where are you? And the pool ate them, so they're dead.
Right.
So that's
Okay,
that's the kind of...
I can't necessarily say I'm excited.
Well, I'm just saying...
January feels like a weird time for a pool-related movie to come out. TBH.
When it's cold. But you're trying to remind people of, like, summer fun in the winter.
Yeah, it's real fun. Are you trying to get people to avoid pools next summer?
I guess, yeah.
I have a
Cautionary
question.
tale.
Knowing that none of us
Okay.
have seen it.
Uh-huh.
Is it the, like, if I scooped out some of the water from that pool, put it in a hot tub, does the hot...
Would it be a haunted hot tub?
Right, or like if I filled it like a kiddie pool, what's the transitive
Okay,
property?
are you saying is the spirit in the water or the actual, like, cement construction of
the
pool?
vessel. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to look up the plot...
Whoa.
gonna spoil it
Jeremy,
right here.
spoilers.
I mean-
spoilers. We want to play in this
It really
space
comes
a
down
little
to
bit.
like, is the Kool-Aid Man the glass or the Kool-Aid?
I think the
Right.
Kool-Aid
Oh,
Man is
sure.
the glass.
Huh. Kool-Aid Man equals ghost? Hadn't thought about this one before. But I guess my initial thought is that the pool, like the container, right, is the thing that is haunted, that has probably seen trauma and knows it, and can reflect it in, evil ways, versus the water, which I think they could... If the water's the problem, I guess they could just suck it out and put it in some jar and just never open it, right?
Right.
But it seems like the bigger problem would be taking care of the pool.
Well,
Okay, so this is somewhat confusing reading the plot description of this movie. It's neither of those
Spoilers.
things. I'll just leave it at that.
Can I?
Oh, it's a monster!
boo.
I want to give my interpretation of the ending of it.
Okay, all right. Of
course.
Pool exorcism. They pour a lot of holy water in there.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Let's go.
I mean,
I want to imagine that like the pool boy has like an unspoken like relationship with this monster.
Yeah.
And so he's got like a thing for it, and he like dives in and he's like, "Take me, pool."
Yeah.
And
oh,
then,
he's like the Renfield.
yeah,
Yeah,
he gets sucked
yeah,
into
yeah.
one of those like filter vents.
Oh yeah, he does.
And it's kind of gross, but it's also
like
kind
Final
of,
Destination-y.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, but it's also kind of like maybe I want that to happen to me. Like all horror movies. I'm also imagining the pool boy exorcist. Like he walks on screen and he's like, I know how to deal with it, and he like takes his robe off. And he has like a big like crucifix tattooed onto his back, and like his knuckles say like peace and love or whatever.
Yeah.
Jeremy Allen White is the pool boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes.
Incredible.
I would look if this was actually again. I looked at the Wikipedia page. If this actually happened in the movie, I'd be like, maybe not 5 stars, but like a strong 3. A really like I've breached my drink limit normally, and I'm intoxicated enough to get a good chuckle out of this.
The mom is like, the mom that's been hitting on the pool boy the whole movie is like, what? And the pool boy ends up being like the albino from fucking yeah.
Da Vinci Code.
Starts whipping himself.
Yeah.
With the net.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So are you saying like the Templars have kept haunted pools across the world because they proved the existence that Christ had a child?
Yeah. Haven't you played Assassin's Creed 7?
Yeah, that's what those games are about.
At this point, what kind of... I mean, I know that they are still putting out Assassin's Creed. This isn't like a Halo thing where I just didn't know about it. I know that new Assassin's Creeds are coming out like
Sure.
almost every year. what like more ancient freaking conspiracy theories can they possibly be thinking of at this point? Because like we already have the Dan Brown books. They've already done the American Revolution. Like what National Treasure? Like what else can they possibly be pulling from at this point?
Well, they just go to random historical places and be like, you're a guy and you kill people. So they did ancient Egypt. They did ancient
Pirates.
Greece. They did do pirates. They did Vikings.
Okay.
The most recent one, you're just some dude in ancient Baghdad. So it's like, I'm a guy in a historical setting. Am I gonna kill people? And then you do. They're coming.
And you really love climbing on rooftops.
Uh-huh.
That's basically it.
Jumping into bales of hay. I know everything about the Assassin's Creed games. I have not played one in like 10 years, but the next one they're going to put out
they do.
is it's about witches, I think.
Oh.
Like it's taking place during the witch hunts in like 16th century Europe.
Are you the witch?
So that could be
Interesting.
that could be
kind of cool.
that could be fun. I don't know. They haven't been great, but I don't.
Do you think
fun concepts?
Do you think it like has an interesting take, or do you think it's like the wrong take where you are just hunting down the women, like and accusing widows of?
You're just
would
one
be-
of the
I look.
crowd.
This game is not like extant, so I can't tell you what the like concept is. But I believe the pitch is that you are a witch.
Nice.
You have been that's being hunted. And you use the access to the Assassin's Guild to seek vengeance or whatever.
Nice.
Which you get.
That makes sense.
Sounds fun, but these games haven't been great. And
I know they're not like the best, but I will say like playing like it hit hard, like it hit, at the time.
look, I get it. I get it. It was
Oh,
if
yeah.
it was 2009, I get it. And it's like you have the hoodie that has the logo on the back, and you're like, I've got blades in my wrists or whatever kind of situation, and you're like, oh hell yeah. I can't think of this. Yeah.
For the listener at home, Ian put on his hoodie over his headphones, grabbed some pens, and started fake running like he was about to jump off of some building.
Yeah.
Ian's makeshift Ezio cosplay.
Yes. but look, I don't know. My this whole conversation stemmed from the fact that we're in January, and this is where you just pump out the shit. You know what I'm saying? The haunted pool movie.
This episode.
kind of
It's just like this
situation.
show.
Yes. And I'm saying
Yeah.
we're gonna take that and elevate it to the next level. So this might Ben. Why haven't they made a movie about a haunted podcast? That's what I'm saying.
Jeremy, shut the fuck up right now.
I mean, they made a podcast about a haunted podcast.
They made really? What's that?
It's the Jordan Peele one.
Is that podcast
Oh,
haunted?
that's true. Yeah,
Okay.
about
That podcast
like,
is haunted.
Okay.
a radio host with supernatural powers.
So I'm sure that'll turn into a
No,
movie
I'm
at some
saying
point.
like
it's possible.
they press play on their podcasting app of choice, and they're like, "Oh, I'm haunted now," and they like hear like Joe Rogan laugh in the distance kind of situation, and they like walk into
I'm saying
traffic.
it's a great idea. Stop talking right now. Someone's gonna take it.
Slight tangent,
Ian, you have a question?
more of a comment, less of a question.
Okay.
John Wick 4, excellent movie. But how much better would it have been if, like, the seductive radio host, it was actually a podcast, and it implies that like all these mobsters and like killers are just got like their their pods in,
Their earbuds in. They're like, so
Like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, John Wick is a very fanciful action series where things that are impossible happen, like a man falling down 20 flights of stairs. But I do think it would be funny if that like everyone would like have their earbuds in, their AirPods, walking down the street, and they're like, "Oh, the newest episode of, let's just say it, Joe Rogan," because a bunch of hitmen are going to be listening to that. Am I right?
Sure.
And they hit play, and then it just gets interrupted, and the lady's like, "You got to kill John Wick right now," and then a bazillion people start going after him.
That'd be great if it actually was John Wick and it's just a close up of his lips and there's like donut crumbs around the corners of his mouth.
I mean, I do keep a mental list in my head of like media that is centered on podcast or like podcast characters. And this would be a really great addition to my list.
Okay.
Definitely the most action oriented.
All right, yeah.
And just like that wasn't action oriented enough for you.
Well, no, it wasn't. The only the one thing that I would maybe throw up there is the Halloween 2018.
Oh yes, where Michael Myers
movie where the main characters start the reboot of the Michael Myers trilogy
by trying to make a podcast about him. They get
get
killed
fucked
first. Yeah,
So it's not very long, but it is a standout in the list.
I remember their podcasting technique in that movie was just waving around like a Zoom mic without a windscreen on it and like a car, and I'm like, that's going to produce terrible audio.
Triggered.
Oh yeah. There was a reason they got killed.
Yeah. Those sloppy fucks.
Bad mic.
What a failed Ben's class.
Yeah. Ben, what if one of your students was like, I know a guy named Michael Myers. I want to tell you about him.
Oh, you should definitely pursue that story. Only good things can come from that.
All right, let's do LaCroix Boys now. Are you guys drinking an exciting beverage right at this moment?
No.
Okay. You do have a pie, though, Evan.
I had a pie.
Oh, you ate it all.
Yeah. This is a 6-inch pie that I finished in a single day.
Oh, cool. Ben, do you have a beverage?
I am drinking some hot chocolate.
Ooh.
Some mint hot chocolate. I pull a little bit of whiskey in there too, but it's just a nice. It's really cold in my apartment for some reason, so.
Join the club.
Just
Me
trying
too.
to get warm.
Ian, you got anything?
I have water, but honorable mention for beverage talk. I was the best man at a wedding this weekend, and naturally I had to like pick up some whiskey to have like a little ceremony little drink with the guys. And the majority of it was like, yeah, like, love you, man. Like, it's great. Like, his dad was there, uncle was there, grandpa. And it started with that. And then as we, like, kept standing around just kind of, like, staring at the ground, it became like, wow, I really don't like drinking whiskey. Like, most of us were like, this is not an enjoyable experience.
It was like, what a terrible idea.
Look, at my wedding, when we do that, it's going to be margs.
It's gonna be Mars.
Yes.
And that's a decision that you'll never regret. I do think that the idea of standing in a circle and taking slugs of whiskey is a kind of a romantic idea, but in practice, not as fun as it seems.
But it brought us closer.
Well,
Okay.
well, that's good.
I realized everyone's
He does not like whiskey. Well, I brought up the drink thing because I actually have a not new beverage, but I've purchased a new type of beer from the Trader Joe's.
Whoa.
And this is a ex novo. The Zest is History.
Nice.
Lemon Pilsner. Good. So I hope it's good.
Lemon Pilsner?
Yeah. So
That sounds good.
Let's see
I
if
hope
the
it's
Zest
as
is
lemony as this drink. I have a Spindrift, a lemon Spindrift.
It's pretty good. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
How lemony?
I would say it's not like extremely, but it's got a zing to it that makes it very crisp and refreshing. So
Nice. A little zest.
yeah, the Zest is History. Yes.
I need to recant my story and replace it with a different story I want to tell. The couple that got married, they got married at a brewery, and they got to work with the brewmaster to like make their own beer for the wedding.
Ooh.
What?
Wow.
And
that's
they
cool.
designed the logo and stuff, and it was a very good coffee stout.
Oh,
One that I actually
that's
would
fun.
drink.
It had a funny name.
It was called I Like Beer and I Like You.
Aw.
Oh, that's cute.
And the brewmaster liked it so much, he was like, I think I'm actually going to like put this into production as like a limited run.
What?
Whoa.
Do they get a cut? They gotta
Yeah,
have
they
some
better get a
royalties
cut.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does licensing alcohol work?
I think you just
For
do
like
it.
I don't think
copyright.
it does.
Good question.
You mail it to yourself.
Well, you can't. Yeah. Well, we talked about this. You can't copyright recipes. So
Yeah. It's a weird gray area,
Just
apparently.
gotta keep it a secret.
Speaking of copyright and not having a hold on a beverage, also New Year, new beverage news. Mountain Dew Baja Blast officially available.
yes,
in stores.
yes, you can purchase this
Whoa.
outside of Taco Bell.
A Taco Bell.
Now, Evan and Ian, as the foremost Taco Bell experts on this podcast, do you think that will devalue the Baja Blast experience, or do you think its accessibility to the masses will only increase how much people appreciate it?
I
ahead.
think as much as like, obviously we want to make it accessible and under the, People with Disabilities Act, we got to bring it like to the masses, right? Like that was like a federal
Sure.
court handed that down. Like you need to make the
Right. Taco Bell's really been dragging their feet on this one.
make a metaphorical ramp.
When George H.W. Bush signed the ADA, he was like, I need to make sure everyone has access to Baja Blast Mountain Dew. I love it so much.
Having said that, I think it's like taking, I don't know, it's like taking a body out of a casket. It's like a sacrilege a little bit. Like, they don't sell like the Christ wafers at the convenience store, right? That you can't buy like Jesus' blood at Albertsons
At a Safeway.
Okay, now Ian, what you're doing is you're actually reconstruing the Catholic and Protestant schism because as a Protestant you actually can do that. You just go to a store and get those things, and then through they're metaphorically representative of the body and blood of Christ.
Well, Jeremy, there's no confusing it. I am going to go on the record and say that when you drink a Baja Blast at a Taco Bell,
it is the blood of Christ.
yeah, through transfiguration or whatever,
Yes.
Transubstantiation.
Transfiguration, Harry Potter shit.
yeah, through transmutation, it is the blood of the bell, as it were.
Yeah. The blood of Christ blasted for you.
Yeah.
Blasted for you.
Evan?
Fuck.
Yeah, I similarly to Ian. It feels weird, but I'm gonna have to do it. I'll bring it on this show.
You're gonna buy it. You're gonna crack it.
I'm gonna crack it.
Wait, we
I
can
have
actually
to.
have someone crack it on it.
Yeah, we could.
Does it come in
I'll
a
have
can?
to sniff out. I haven't seen it at a store
Yeah.
recently, so
It comes in like your classic. I think it comes in a 12 pack.
see, I want to buy a singular bottle. I don't want 12 cans of it.
No, I know what I'm getting myself into, Jeremy.
Jeremy,
So it feels weird, but I'm. It's 2024, new year, new era for sodas.
I feel
in.
I like want to agree with you, Evan, but I also feel like if I damned myself in that way in my home, I'd have to like sage smoke out my house. Like I'd light a taco on fire and like walk through my house with it to
Doritos
Yeah.
Locos
Taco.
smoke.
Yeah.
You have like a taco sensor.
Dorito
that
smudge.
you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you swing it around your building.
I'd have to.
Okay. Ian, let's go back to the transubstantiation of the Baja Blast
yes.
and say, if that's the blood of Christ, what Taco Bell menu item is the body of
the
Christ?
Dorito shell. Absolutely.
Just the shell,
I was
not
gonna
the
say
filling.
Crunched for you.
I was gonna say cinnamon twists. I feel like that's the
That's
body
really-
of Christ blasted for you. It's blasted.
Interesting. Do they even still have those? I feel like they got rid of those in favor of the like filled Cinnabon.
Oh,
See,
Delights or whatever.
I've not purchased
this
items
speaks
from a
to
Taco
my-
Bell in probably 3 or 4 years. So
All right.
yeah.
Here's some.
I'm out of the loop.
Option A is the nacho fries.
Okay.
Good option.
Option
Good
B.
option.
What about Mexican pizza?
That was gonna be C.
Okay.
B is of course the Crunchwrap Supreme because
Of course.
Because just like Jesus, it's good to go.
Yeah.
for his kingdom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that Yeah.
What about like a cheesy gordita crunch? Would that work?
Too complicated.
That's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did stand corrected. Cinnamon twists still $1, still
Yeah,
on the
baby.
menu.
Let's go.
It is, I think it is the.
Yeah.
It might be the twists.
Okay.
Thank you.
Famously, we know the CEO of Taco Bell said he'd fucking kill you if you changed the price of a cinnamon twist from $1 to anything else.
All right.
Jeremy,
Well, so
That and Costco hot
Jeremy, I
dogs.
want to issue a New Year's challenge to you.
what? Drink Baja Blast? I'll do that.
No, but I do want you to do that. But I would like to challenge you openly on the show that the year of 2024, you bring us you don't drink the same drink twice on the show.
Okay, well, you're asking a lot from me.
Whoa!
What, you don't think you're up for the challenge,
that's not that
Zealot?
much. Well, I don't know if I've ever drinking the same drink on this show 2 times in a row.
I don't know if you have or not. Ben, what's going on with your screen? That's the second weird effect we've seen tonight.
I couldn't really tell you, listeners. My screen lit up with fireworks when I said that, and I don't really know why.
Wow.
Okay, this is very strange. But so you've never see, but I guess when I go to the store, I buy a 6-pack or an 8-pack of whatever beverage I'm purchasing, and
you could go to Albertsons and do one of those choose your own 6-packs and have one for 6 weeks lined out.
You could.
Okay, I'll try my best, Ian, to fulfill your fantasy.
Oh, gosh. It's not a fantasy, it's a challenge. Okay?
No,
it's not
fantasy.
about fulfilling
Sick.
It's not about making Ian happy. It's about challenging yourself, finding that inner strength within you, Jeremy, to do the thing that you can
I call
do.
this my dark
drink.
cinnamon twisted fantasy.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, well, we'll work on that, but in the meantime, let's focus in on the meat of this show. This is I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. Each week, we randomly select a new Pokemon to eat. We come prepared with a recipe. We share the recipe with one another. We vote on the best recipe. We declare a winner, and we reign in their supremacy, much like our Lord and Savior, the cheesy Gordita Crunch or whatever.
Crunchwrap
Supreme. I'm sorry. And this week, we're cooking a starter. Finally hit a big boy this season. So Rowlet, I would argue, is the most popular Pokemon from this generation.
Probably.
I see it's the one I see merched out the most. Like, plushies and cute things kind of situation is the cutest. I can't deny it.
It's really cute.
It's very cute. It's like a supreme design of putting it all together.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we're cooking Rowlet this week. I don't remember who won last week because we had some technical difficulties. Was it Ben?
I think Ian won.
Okay, Ian.
Yep.
Ian, roll us up into your Rowlet recipe.
All right. This isn't going to be a popular recipe. But I'm doing it because it's right. I don't care,
Okay.
Of course.
I'm not here to win a popularity contest, okay? That's not what the show is about.
Yeah, it is, but you're not... would you say you're here to make friends?
No. I already have. We're already friends. I'm not making
Friends.
any. But I am here to make a case that I am correct, okay?
Okay.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Or the last. You look at Rowlet. Tell me it's not giving you garbanzo.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Garbanzo.
Like the
Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't
Garbanzo energy.
I wouldn't pay a
garbanzo
Rowlet
energy.
to garbanzo being on my face.
Okay, sure.
If you know, you know.
Okay, I can definitely see what you're saying after pulling up another a picture of Rowlet.
So I was thinking, man, what's a good garbanzo bean recipe? And that hit me. Falafel.
Yes.
Garbanzo beans, herbs, spices. What is a Rowlet if not a garbanzo bean already covered in herbs and spices? All you have to do, blend his ass, fry his ass, serve his ass.
And what is this?
A falafel.
Oh, okay.
A Rowlet falafel.
A falafel.
Now,
Okay.
I know Jeremy's gonna be like, "You lazy sack of shit! The Pokemon is the thing the whole time. Lunchbox head, blah, blah."
I was going to say lunchbox
Yeah.
head. You got me there.
Yeah, Jeremy, I got you like a fucking open book. All right, but consider this, gentlemen. the first guy who picked an apple and was like, "Huh, you could just like eat this right off the tree. Like this is so easy." I bet people were like, "You fucking lazy bastard! You gotta do something more with that. You can't just eat that raw."
You call that a recipe? That's just
Yeah.
a fucking
Yeah.
apple.
All these culinary techniques we have.
I rest my case.
Okay, so your case is you fry it and you blend it to make falafel.
Not in that order, but yes.
Okay. Anyway, you make it. You're just
Do you have to like remove any parts of it to get to the like
yeah. Do you take the eyeballs
is it-
out?
fundamentally just garbanzo bean, or is there like layers to it where you have to get to the garbanzo
It's like,
bean?
like his little green bow tie and his tail are the herbs, right? I'm thinking that his like brown feathers are maybe like, how like moth wings are like dusty.
Yes, we talked about this.
Oh, they're dusted in herbs.
Yes.
Dusted
I
in
see.
spices.
Okay.
Spices.
And what are
yes.
these spices? Are they excreted by the Rowlet,
Similar
or
to
are they
Shai
added on
Hulud.
by nature? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Spice
so
must
it,
flow.
it poos out the spices that it rubs itself in.
It's more of like a sweat excretion.
Okay.
Dusty sweat. And then if you were to like, get your hands in there and like spread the feathers, you'd see the surface of his bare skin, garbanzo bean.
Garbanzo bean.
Now,
Okay.
I'm
So you do have to take the feathers off. Is that what you're saying?
well, no, because the feathers are the spices. You know what I like? Like
Okay.
when you blend it down,
The
It's like
feathers-
collecting the spices.
Okay.
when you blend it down, you're not gonna know.
Okay.
But I will say, I'm not gonna
Sure.
I'm not gonna look you in the eye and say there aren't bones in there, right? Like that's silly.
Okay.
Even an apple has a
Hey,
core.
Vitamixes will purify anything.
That's true. If you have a blender that can handle it, do it. But otherwise, like, luckily garbanzo beans, correct me if I'm wrong, naturally like kind of soft, right? Like they're not like, it's a bean, so you
Yeah.
can just kind of like,
I think you have to soak them.
so
Yeah.
maybe you like give your Rowlet a bath, and then you just like press your hand slowly into its body, pull the bones out.
So you're saying its consistency of its flesh is so soft that you can just extract its bones by sticking your hand into
After
it.
you give him a nice long bath, yeah. And then you blend him, you fry him. He's already ball shaped. It's perfect.
Right. Yeah, no, I think aesthetically I'm right there with you. I do like the idea of the falafel herbs and spices already being in the garbanzo bean, so it takes out that step of it. I just don't know if I can still get past the idea of like picking past feathers and just seeing like garbanzo bean flesh down at the bottom. Like that's a little bit hard for me to wrap my head around, but I'm there with you from a flavor perspective.
Why, Ian? Why did you go with the phrase garbanzo beans when you could have called it like a Rowlet chickpea? Because it's an owl.
Well, Jeremy, let me tell the joke again, and you tell me. Jeremy, what's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean?
Nothing. They're the same thing.
Wrong. I wouldn't pay a garbanzo to bean on my face. Checkmate, atheists. I did it again.
Checkmate. Again.
I'm just saying you could work in like chick. It's a bird. Yeah, that's all I was trying to proffer here.
Yeah, garbanzo's more fun to say.
Okay.
That's true.
It is. I don't even think that there's any other context in which you can use the word garbanzo outside of naming this one bean. Like, was it a last name? Was it a place name? Like, what is garbanzo?
It certainly must be like somebody's name.
Yeah. But then that means that before there was a garbanzo bean, there was a person named Garbanzo, which just sounds like an incredible person. I want to know what their life story is.
First name Gar, last name Bonzo.
The only like
Yeah, it says.
yeah, what do you got?
I'm working on
okay.
it. Continue talking.
To me, the only other situation I could, besides that joke and talking about the bean itself, the only other time I could use the word garbanzo is like if I was leaving a party and I'm like, I'm bargonzo, and then I leave. Jeremy, that
It's like the new, like,
Please
Irish
use that
goodbye,
in person at some point.
Bargonzo.
The word garbanzo is a English corruption of the word garvance, which is the Old Spanish word for bean. So it just means bean.
Oh.
Bean.
It's
It
a
means
bean.
bean?
Yeah. Well, if you say bean afterwards,
What the hell? That's kind
Where
of-
does
yeah,
the
it's just Spanish.
what about the chickpea?
The chickpea is based on French, modeled Middle French pois chiche, where chiche is Latin for sisir. There you go. That's the answer you got there. So it's not related to birds.
or peeing on your face.
Yeah, or peeing on your
Bizarre.
face.
I rest my case.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go to the next docket. Ben, what's your recipe this week?
My recipe this week is a Rowlet chowlet,
Oh,
What?
which I'm not expecting you to know exactly what that means. 'Cause I'm gonna have to
Question: Is
explain
this
it.
like Ian's? Its head is a lunchbox, where you just open it up and it's like, oh, there's a chowlet inside.
No. I was thinking that so Rowlet, it says in the Pokedex entry, like stores a lot of energy, right, using photosynthesis, which is I think what most grass type Pokemon do
Yes.
anyway. But
that's a move they have.
seems
Is
to be a-
photosynthesis.
yeah, but this seems to be a special trait of it because it uses that energy at nighttime. However, what if we could harness that energy as humans to use whenever we wanted? For example, maybe you're on a hike
Okay.
and you're getting, I know Jeremy, you can relate to
Yeah.
this. You're on a hike and you're getting really tired.
Uh-huh.
And if you could just, gulp, gulp, gulp some little snacks and get just boundless energy
Okay.
in an instant, you would, right?
Sure.
You
Ian,
are
do you have a
describing.
question?
You are describing how eating works, though, right? Like, that
Works.
is. Yup. Okay.
Yup, exactly. You guys
All
are
right.
tracking with me.
So imagine you're tired and you need to get energy. Where does it come from? The food you eat.
I'm not talking about regular energy.
Okay.
I'm talking about
Better energy.
Rowlet
Okay.
energy. Better energy, okay?
Okay.
BRE, big Rowlet energy.
Exactly. So, basically, what I'm thinking is that we can dry out the feathers on Rowlet and use them as a sort of grain, similar to like a granola or an oats type of situation. And I'm kind of imagining that we can then use that to make a Cliff Bar-like paste that is packed full of protein and energy. And then, but instead of, making a full, like, Cliff Bar kind of situation, because these are chowlets, imagine, like, if you took a Cliff Bar and you, like, sliced it up into little, like, bite-sized pieces. And then instead of, like, you just brought, like, a little, like, Tupperware container full of all your little bits, and you can just take little bits and bites along the way.
A chowlet, if you will.
A chowlet, little chowlets. And chowlet meaning little food for those who are still.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Ben, much like a Cliff Bar, what like seasonal or all year round flavors do your moist chowlets come in?
Moist chowlets. It's pretty good.
I'm glad that you brought up moist because Cliff Bars are a little bit moist sometimes, and that was the bar I was thinking of in mind. So they are a little bit moist, just like a Cliff Bar.
Okay.
Flavors. I was thinking about this because I wanted it to be, sometimes you don't want something super sweet, but you do want that little protein punch. So I'm feeling like base flavor is like not very flavorful at all. It's just sort of like the oats, and it just is very like plain. But I think adding in some classic like peanut butter or some chocolate chip, maybe even a mint chocolate chip, would be good, just to keep your flavor profile guessing along the way. But
Oh,
they
like
won't
in
be
a
very
like a
sweet.
mixed flavor bag.
You could put, I'm thinking you would have like a combination of different flavors.
Got it,
And then you
okay.
can put them all in your little container
Oh.
and have some choices when you're out there on the trail, Yeah,
Your recipe
Ian.
reminded me of I don't know if you guys have like tried this or if this is just because my mom is like a raw food nut. She would make these she called them like energy balls, and it was usually like a date based like with ground nuts in there, and like all maybe like goji berries, like just like a powerhouse of crap. And they'd be these little balls, and then oftentimes they'd be covered in like coconut shavings or something, or maybe the coconut shavings would be like mixed into it. Maybe bite size. I don't know if you guys have had those, but
So that's
my mom
basically
also
what
makes
an
those.
RX
Definitely.
bar is. Have you ever had one of those?
Yeah.
RX.
So
Yeah, basically, it's like a date base with like a few other
yeah,
things. in there,
and
egg
like on the
whites or
cover, it's
something.
like it's made out of date, egg, and nut, and that's it. And then it has maybe like
Oh, I've seen those.
oh, I know.
Like an
Yeah,
extra-
I know what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
extra thing.
prescription bar.
I think they're
I'm
called
sure you
Exactly.
I think they're called the RX bar. 3 egg whites, 6
Your
almonds,
medicine.
4 cashews, 2 dates.
55 hot
Yeah.
dogs, 55 pancakes.
yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, where's that bar?
But
I have another question for everybody, less food related. Photosynthesizes, and then like he silently sneaks up on his prey at night, kind of like a Prius of Pokemon, a hybrid. 'Cause I don't know. Have
Okay.
You will not hear this Rowlet sneaking
I don't
up
know if
behind
you-
Yeah,
you.
it's so quiet.
you guys seen? I don't know if you've watched Weeds, but in middle school I watched all of Weeds, naturally. And there's like a classic like the mom is like making a deal with a drug dealer, and then he's like, oh shoot, I have to do this drive by or whatever, and he like makes her go with him, but she's in a Prius, and then after
would
that
never
incident,
know.
he like rolls up with like his whole crew has like 10 black Priuses, and he's like, yeah, like these are perfect for sneaking up on motherfuckers. Like I bought a whole fleet. So, probably.
Well, I hear that the government is mandating that Rowlets now make noise, at least when they reverse.
No, I do like the noise electric cars make. It's fun. It's like
You like it?
yeah.
Do you go to sleep to it?
Yeah, makes like a soft humming sound as it like they go
Kind of
around.
freaks me out. It kind of makes me think like, man, this is like future times.
Well,
It sounds like a spaceship.
yeah, it's 2020 fucking 4, Ben. We better be in the future times. We're in the 20 goddamn 20s.
We're close enough to what's that Star Wars city where all of the cars are flying, the highways in space?
Oh, the entire planet's a city.
Oh,
Coruscant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coruscant. That's the one.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Ben, do you wish the entire planet was a city?
No. That sounds miserable.
Coruscant is home to my favorite Star Wars character, Elon Sleazebagano, who
Ooh.
sells death sticks, or tries to sell death sticks to Obi-Wan in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
You like him better than Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter Jester's great, don't get me wrong. He's the owner of the 50s diner in Coruscant. These are both Coruscant-based characters, so I think that's why I have such
Boring.
an
Okay, let's move
Next.
Elon Sleazebagano.
Dexter was cool in the Clone Wars animated series.
Yeah, he's like a mole. He's got like hot tips about everything kind of situation.
What?
Yeah, Evan, what's your recipe?
Oh, moving on. Okay. Well, purely for namesake purposes, making some ravioli.
on. Oh,
Yeah.
Is it like spinach ravioli?
In fact, it is spinach tofu
Wow.
ravioli.
Ravioli.
Tofu. Let's
like a
go.
tofu ricotta deal.
Whoa.
So Ian presupposes that it is garbanzo and spice. I presuppose that the body is essentially tofu.
Okay.
While the wings, there's some green in there, are spinach.
So we keep coming back to this. The body is so soft that you can stick your hand through it. Which I think
No one's
I
tried.
think might be an issue for a
So
bird.
now.
I don't know.
Only if you soak them.
That's how it's. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing is we immediately we gotta press this bird
Oh God.
to eventually blend it and get our ricotta. So yeah, you tofu press this bird and as it's squished about, pluck the spinach from its wings.
I can't
And-
not think hydraulic press, even though that would ruin your tofu.
That would be fun though. But so you basically, let's see, you got your pasta dough, you got your tofu ricotta, which is basically just, basically just cashews and a little bit of tofu and some non-dairy milk. You can go almond or oat, lemon juice and garlic, and some nutritional yeast as well. And you just basically blend that up until you get like your nice faux cheese consistency.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you get your little your sheets of dough. You make little balls and place the spinach ricotta mixture in along your sheet, and then you place another sheet of dough on top of that. You get that fun little wheel cutter that has the little spikes to like cut your ravioli.
Yeah, the ravioli
squares.
cutter, you mean?
Yeah, of course, the ravioli cutter. Everyone should have in their kitchen.
Yeah, instead of
yeah.
when Wolverine goes snick, instead of claws coming out, they should be little ravioli cutters, and you can like spin them around, and you can roll them on people.
If Edward Scissorhands were instead a KitchenAid attachment.
If it was Edward Ravioli Hands, I think you would have less problems connecting with people.
Ravioli Hand sounds like a different movie.
Yeah.
I will be honest.
Instead of making pies, they just make little raviolis.
Yes.
Since we're on like the same wavelength with the body being something soft,
Yes.
I wonder what your thoughts are. Like, if we were gonna put this on like a spectrum, where on one end, more similar to the body of baby Jesus Christ, where he's tender and mild, versus on the other end, a la Cards Against Humanity, Rush Limbaugh's soft, shitty body. Rowlet Paul.
Tender and mild to soft and shitty.
I think tender and mild implies a stronger taste mouthfeel than soft and shitty, because that sounds like a really like
That's
moldy
fair.
apple kind of situation.
Yeah, it's true. All those words mean different
yeah.
things.
Now,
Yeah.
tender and mild is
I-
obviously in describing a disposition and not the fleshy sustenance of Jesus himself.
Yeah, not tenderized and mild.
Yes.
This baby's so tender.
Though, would Ian, on this presupposition, do you think Jesus was soft enough that you could push your hand through his body?
Babies are pretty soft. I think if you put your
But do you
mind
think
to
he was
it.
like that for his whole life?
No, I think he grew out of it.
Just for the first
Yeah.
3
Yeah, he
months.
grew out of it.
It's like their skulls are so soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of those things that they say when you become a parent is you have to be really careful, because sometimes if you let them in the bath for too long, you can reach your hand all the way
Right.
through their body and take
Right.
their bones.
You got to hold them just right, or you'll just
Yep.
reach right through.
Yes.
Yep. It's a really common problem.
Okay.
I work with kids. I think I know.
Yeah. They're all just jello. They're all jello. Did you ever notice that children are actually just gelatin that's walking around?
Jeremy, and talking about tofu, how often have you just reached through tofu?
Usually.
This seems like a fixation.
Well, okay, let me just point this out. I don't usually have like a cube of tofu big enough that I could push my
Just
hand
stick your
through
hand
it.
in. Oh man! But if you did, you would feel the urge. Wouldn't you?
Okay, you guys are gonna hate me, but when I was in China, I did see blocks of tofu that large that you could theoretically do that to, but they were for purchase, so I did not want to touch them because I didn't own them.
Well,
Yeah, that sounds like a rude thing to do.
I mean,
to just stick my hands.
to
but for personal use, if you just had one, you'd feel a little tempted to be that big.
So, do you want me to get like a fucking cube of tofu so I could just like put my arm through
well,
it?
here's the thing. I'm gonna back up Evan here.
The next
There are
live
different
stream.
Yes.
there are different strengths of tofu, right? Like if you get the extra
That's
the
true.
extra
True.
firm, would probably be like true baby consistency. But like if you got silken tofu, yeah, you could fucking like sneeze and blast it in half.
I'm gonna say this right now. I bet I could, without like extra force, I bet I could push my hand through any block of tofu that is in front of me.
This is Jeremy's Karate Kid challenge.
the low bar.
It is because I don't think tofu's has that much structural integrity.
This is the Patreon. Here we come.
Okay.
2024.
Okay, so it has to be big enough that I could theoretically put my arm through it. That's step one. So it can't just be like a tiny little thing, because I would just like crush it, right? 2, it has to have
Certain circumstances would have to provide this tofu.
yes,
Yeah.
and it definitely. I don't think tofu comes in like huge cubes. I think it's kind of like a sheet, and then they cut it.
Why
So
can't you just like push your finger
think
through it?
would-
Wouldn't that prove your point?
Yeah, I guess so. But I need it to be big enough so you could see
It
it.
needs to be Rowlet size.
Yes.
You want to.
Someone carve a Rowlet out of tofu and then send it to us.
We're-
And then I'll push my hand through it.
We're really uncovering Jeremy's dark cinnamon twisted fantasy of being elbow deep in a Rowlet.
Look, are you guys gonna lie to yourselves that you don't like gack, and you don't like touching it and like putting your hands in it?
I mean, gap,
Sure.
putty, goop,
Slime.
not goop. That's the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. Slime.
Small nocturnal.
But I mean,
animals.
like,
They're all great.
one of the great joys of being a child is being like your parents are being like, I mix cornstarch and water together. Here's hours of entertainment, and you're like, you're right. This is hours of entertainment.
Silken tofu is basically gack, or whatever the hell it's called.
Edible gack.
Yeah,
Cornstarch,
the
and water is
non-Newtonian tofu.
but it tastes bad. All right, I guess I'll do my recipe now. So I thought this week that Rowlet has offered us a prime opportunity to not quite whole hog, but use the multiple elements of the Rowlet to create our recipe this week. And that's why we're going to do this week a imperial Rowlettus wrap made with the leaves of the Rowlet and the meat of the Rowlet. So imagine you're going to a nice Asian restaurant. You can order the lettuce wraps where it's like some like cooked meat inside a leaf of lettuce that you'd like, carry to your mouth and chomp down on. I love this dish. They're so good. It got that texture difference between the crunch of the lettuce and like the kind of warm, less crunchy elements of the meat. It's really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our Rowlet and we're going to take off its bow tie, which we're going to be using for the lettuce wraps themselves. So we're going to take the bow tie. You might want to shape the lettuce a little bit, kind of situation, like put it into like a little like stand so the edges go up so you can, it can work as a better container. Then unfortunately we're going to have to kill the Rowlet and use its meat. And I'm assuming that its meat is chicken consistency, not goo consistency for this recipe.
Not garbanzo.
No,
bean.
not garbanzo bean. It is unfortunately pure chicken kind of consistency. So we're gonna take it and we're going to grind it up. We're gonna cook it with garlic, ginger, green onions, soy sauce, and sweet chili sauce. Make sure it's all stir fried up and it'll be good to go. We're going to get some rice noodles as well and add that in there to add some more fun textural differences. Once that's done, we'll let it cool for a little bit, but not too much. You still want it to be warm, but you don't want it to be so hot that it wilts your lettuce beforehand. Once it's cooled enough, you're going to scoop some out, put it in the Rowlet bow tie, and then serve it up. And that's your Imperial Rowlettus wrap.
So, sweet chili sauce,
Yes.
yay or nay?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yay.
Yay? Okay, good.
Were you going to say
also be
nay,
friends.
Evan?
No, I love it.
Okay, good.
I'm all for it. I was expecting all of you to say the same.
Yeah. And obviously you can spice this recipe up as you see fit, use different cooking methods, all that kind of stuff to determine your Rowlet meat content. This is a recipe to replicate the red lettuce wraps they have at PF Chang's, but to like make it at home kind of situation. So
Nice.
it's gonna be like that.
I have to say, me and Asia make lettuce wraps probably every like 2 weeks or so at this point. This last year we got like really hooked on them, and gosh, there's nothing more refreshing than a crispy lettuce wrap and a nice saucy ground pork rice combo with some maybe
Ooh.
kimchi
Whoa.
as well on there. Oh man, such a great dinner time. And actually, it's pretty easy to make too, like Jeremy just said.
Yeah. During the holiday vacation, my family went to a fancy restaurant, and they had lettuce wraps with pork belly, like Korean style pork belly in a lettuce wrap, and those were so darn tasty. They were so good. We had to share them, so each one of our group only got one, but I could slammed like 6 of those things. Kind of situation.
I have a very good recipe for a lazy person's lettuce wrap, and so it's go to Trader Joe's and buy the curried chicken salad in their where the salad sandwich ready to go things are.
Yeah.
So just get that and put it in lettuce cups. It is
whoa,
perfect.
Interesting.
that sounds really
Chef's kiss. No effort. It's like a quick snack kind of deal.
well.
Amazing.
And we've talked before about how we love a flatbread, right? That you can take little bits off and have bite-sized little bites on your flatbread. The lettuce wrap experience version of that is so honestly sometimes it's a little bit disappointing because the lettuce can sometimes fall apart when you start eating it, so it can get a little messy sometimes, but it's like I said, so refreshing, so crisp that it's just
I really I need you guys to renew change the way I think about lettuce wraps, because for pretty much all of elementary school and middle school, when my mom would make my lunch, she refused to give me bread for my sandwich.
Oh.
So
Protein style.
it would just be imagine sliced cold cuts between 2 pieces of lettuce
wrapped in
yeah.
lettuce. Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait, but that's bad.
It wasn't bad, but
It reaches a limitation, I think.
yeah.
And I think lettuce wrap is improved with the contrasting between the delivery service of the lettuce and the material you've put inside it. So a lot of times the cooked lettuce wrap I'm making, it's kind of the lettuce is cool and crunchy, but the meat is softer and warm. So it provides a fun taste sensation in your mouth as you're eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily switch over to completely doing lettuce wrap replacement for all my flatbreads or breads, but I do think it does make a very good alternative for something like what Jeremy's making.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's review our recipes. From Ian, we have Rowlet falafel because they're garbanzo beans. From Ben, we have Rowlet chowlet, healthy snack options on the hiking trail. From Evan, we have ravioli, and from me, we have imperial rowlettus wrap. I'm gonna make a quick note. One of our listeners has provided us with a ranked choice voting system for this week's show. So normally we just throw
out to Connor.
Yeah, we just throw up a poll, and we're just whoever gets the most votes. Since there's 4 people, that frequently ends with a tie. So we're gonna try ranked choice voting this week to see how it goes. And we've made a solemn swear to each other that we'll put ourselves last in the ranking.
Yeah, pinky promise.
Yeah. As Wonka would say, a pinky promise is the most solemn promise you can make. So I think that's just the kind of situation we're going to try this week is ranked choice voting.
Everyone can see preliminary results.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm gonna
the primaries.
I'm gonna submit my vote, and Ben can let us know who the winner is. I guess we can all see who the winner is.
I can't quite tell. Well, so yeah, still figuring out this website, but I can't quite tell if we're done when we're done, or maybe everyone can say who.
Has everyone voted?
I think so.
No.
I voted.
Oh, okay. Ian,
No,
we're still waiting on it.
I voted, but
Yes.
it's showing for me. Oh, never mind. No.
Have you voted or have you
Okay.
not voted?
No, I did vote. I was misreading the results.
Okay. Ben, have you voted?
I have the. I voted.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I think.
The issue is we don't have stickers to give each other that says I voted.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the real issue. Okay, so from what I can tell, just looking at the The spread, I think Jeremy won. Looks like there was 2 rounds. Both me and Ian got eliminated, I guess, and then Evan got 1 vote as well. So Jeremy got 2 votes. I'm not exactly sure.
That's interesting because on my screen it says Evan has won in a tiebreaker, which would imply that Evan Evan tied with Jeremy but had like 1 higher rank.
Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm scrolling down. It has both of the options, and it says I think only 3 people have voted.
So have you voted, Ben?
I voted.
I voted.
I voted.
I was the first person to vote.
God damn it.
It says there are 4 votes cast each round.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is why
But
democracy simply doesn't work.
Oh, wait. I just had to refresh my page.
Okay.
Okay. So there were 2 rounds.
Yeah.
It looks like the first round was a 50-50 tie between Evan and Jeremy. And me and Ian were eliminated. And then in the round 2, it was there was a tie between Evan and Jeremy, and it looks like Evan won the tiebreaker for some reason.
Yeah, how does that work?
Not exactly sure, but
how are ties handled? Okay, if 2 or more
Evan
options have the same number of votes at the end of a round, ranked vote looks at how all voters ranked each of these options. The option with the least support amongst all voters is eliminated.
Okay, so I think Evan just got more. I think so Evan wins.
I got the popular vote. Woo!
Woo!
God damn it. I haven't won in such a long time. I'm trying so hard, guys.
And now you have one more thing to play.
Yeah. It's simply, democracy simply doesn't work. All right. Let's move on to the next section, which is Whale Lord's Mail Horde. It's where we read your email sent into ichoosepod@gmail.com. That's ICHEWSPOD@gmail.com. Evan, I heard we have an email from Mike.
Mike says, steel drum machine approaches from off in the distance. Aloha, boys. Frisbee tosses a lay around all 4 of your necks in one swift motion. We're finally doing it. A starter Pokemon, a very rare and especially delectable treat for us this week. Rowlet, too. A starter for centuries in the Alolan Pokemon culture. They have been kicking ass and taking names for longer than humanity has had Pokeballs, I presume. ... The Pokemon timeline is messy, and the only time somebody official had the guts to post the canonical timeline, the Pokemon Company took them out back and shot them.
Nice.
But that's neither here nor there. You know what's here, though? Our desire to cook and eat Rowlet. The spherical, chirical, the grassy and sassy, the bow-tied and deep-fried. Now I'm currently listening to the Shinotic episode as I write this. Great work as always, boys. Thank you for your posting next week's Mon in time. Rowlet is a round boy, and a flurry of thoughts race through my mind about thinking about the culinary potential for this Mon. First thought were something in the rice ball family, or perhaps another mochi dish, but we love a good logical hoop to jump through, don't we? Presupposition time. Rowlet is a white and tan and green. Do you want to guess what else is white, tan, and green?
A newspaper.
Garbanzo beans.
And if you said a large white onion, bingo. Could take this oniony owl and make a classic bloomin' onion or awesome blossom, you know? Too much work. So instead, I'm going to make some nice, hot, crispy onion rings. Firstly, large pot, lots of oil, very hot. Second, pluck the feathery bits. Third, chop your Rowlet in half across its tummy. Then keep chopping each direction so you have large slices of oniony owl. Pop them rings out, cuz. Next, flour, assorted spices, yada yada. I don't have to explain how to make breading to you fine boys. 6, wet the dries, dry the wets. Wet the dries, dry the wets. Wet the dries in hot oil. Let cool and drain off any additional very hot oil. Enjoy with sauce. I recommend making a tropical zesty sauce, some pineapple and hot peppers and mayo or sour cream. I don't know. I trust you to enjoy these however you fancy.
Excellent. Thank you so much for writing in, Mike. We always appreciate it.
I do have to say Rowlet, definitely giving onion the more I look at
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Would you say it's more of an
Big
onion than a
onion
garbanzo bean?
Something about it is just like it looks it's also the way that the like circle around its eyes kind of looks like little slices of onion. I'm gonna have to say it's just a little bit more onion coated than it is garbanzo bean coated.
Mike, congratulations! You have officially replaced me on the show.
Ian's been looking for an out all this time.
We'll get the link to you next week.
All right, let's pick next week's Pokemon in a section I like to call Pick-a-mon. Evan, can you give me a number between 722 and 809?
722, 809, 801.
801.
I might have
feel
done
like
that
we've
already.
done this one already.
Ultra Beast.
It is an Ultra Beast. We have next.
750.
750. I don't think we have done this one. Oh, this is a good one. No, we have done this one. It's Mudsdale.
Oh, we already
739.
739, you say? 739?
We're getting towards the end of the season.
Yes.
Guys. It's a little bit scary.
We're almost
It's
there.
fucked up. 739 is Crab Brawler. I think we can make this one work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a crab?
Yeah, it's a boxing
We haven't-
crab.
We haven't done it yet.
Nope.
No.
We've done.
Okay.
done other crabs in this
Yes.
We've
show.
done a bunch of other
Yeah,
crabs. Okay,
but this
yeah.
one's like Rocky, so it's different. It's different. I swear to God, it's different. All right, send your crab brawler recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com, and we'll read them on the show. Let's wrap this show up now. Ben, plugs. That's the name of this section. Ben, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Ben C. Montoya, or on Instagram at Ben C. Montoya, or on Tumblr at thefearandnow.tumblr.com.
All right, Ian.
You can find me at Musician Davis on Instagram.
All right, Evan.
You can find me on posts at E_Van and X at E_Van Aubrey.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at VelocityPrime1, on Blue Sky at VelocityPrime1, and at Tumblr at VelocityPrime1. And check out my writing at the-avocado.org. That's the-avocado.org, Jeremy Zelig. And let's wrap up the show. So, this has been I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. You can find us on your favorite podcasting apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or a podcast catcher of choice. If you like our show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, check out our social media pages, I Choose Pod, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. We're all hanging out there. It's fun. Check it out. If you want to be a part of the I Choose You community, head over to the I Choose You Discord. We have chats with people, send us recipes. It's a fun time. Participate in community events. Links are available in the episode description. That's the I Choose You Discord. Last but definitely not least is our official website, ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and merch store. And on our merch store, we have the excellent Pokeburger t-shirt. It's the new year, new you, new t-shirt. Go and buy the Pokeburger t-shirt from ichooseyou.menu. I think that covers just about everything. So let's wrap up the show. I've been your host and Alton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zelig.
Been your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
I've been your Mr. Know-It Owl, Ian Davis.
Oh yeah, where does this famous owl
That's
come
the
from?
Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Pop Owl.
Oh, that's his name?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
That's a good one.
All right. And I've been your Evan Aubrey.
And to all the choosies out there on Radioland, in a while, Totodile.
We've been consuming, presuming, leguming, cracking cans and having feasts, munching, crunching, slurping, Pokemon and Ultra Beasts. I choose you. Season 7's our destiny. Let's eat some Alolan food. I choose you.